guys, how's it going? Thanks for coming to another adventure here at Turkey Ridge. My name is Jared. We're riding around on the property today, and it's been, it's been over a month since I've been here on the property. And man, I miss this place, and I just couldn't wait to record, guys. I could not wait. We are riding around the property. We're about midday here. It's in the middle of hunting season. Today is December 1st. We drove up here last night to make a hunt, and man, these woods look different. They got leaves that have been falling and stuff. We're really excited to hunt, and we got some projects in the back. We're gonna go make sure our stands are okay. We hunted yesterday afternoon and this morning. I seen one deer. My buddy Nick didn't see anything yet, but that's okay. We're here for a good while, and hopefully we'll have a good week at the camp. Stay tuned. Let's see what we can get our hands on. Okay guys, how's it going? I didn't make it, but like a quarter mile down the trail, and I had to stop and talk because it's been so long since I've been here and so much has changed around me. Look at this. This is crazy. We got trees missing right here. This is the 80 acres that they wound up cutting. My buddy's going walk and check it out. We got a field right here on this side that is kind of a new to us field. I think this is the second year that we've planted this field, and you can see what our grass is looking like right now too. Let me go ahead and show you all the grass before we get into the logging and what they did cutting the trees. But you can see the grass is in rows. It's kind of short, but you can see it's green. The field looks green. It's growing pretty decently. It is short. One, because they're eating it. You can see this right here is browse pressure on these plants. You can see how it's nipped. So one is that it's short because they're eating it. Two, it's short because we had to wait for rain. We went about a month, a little over a month without rain, and we planted before the rain. And then about a week, I'd say 2 weeks after it rained, after the grass germinated, we had our first real frost. So the grass and all the vegetation and stuff did not get that good of a chance to grow up before it hit its first frost and kind of set it back a little bit. So, but this is what our fields look like. This is a pretty good representation of our fields throughout the property. Like I said, you could see the blanket of green. It's just not thick, but you can see how it's all in rows and stuff from the planter. It's looking good. It's looking real good. And on this side of the road, you can see how there's green grass on this side of the road. We planted ryegrass. We didn't want erosion on the road because they built it up, and this is kind of coming downhill a bit. So we planted some ryegrass on this side. We knew we were going to be planting this with our field mixture, but we planted this side with some ryegrass to have some type of root system growing so it would prevent erosion on this side right here. Then we come to this section right here, right where we parked the buggy. This is right where the creek is. Let me show y'all right where the creek is right here. This is where we have a big old culvert and the creek passes through. And then this is the 80 acres. Man, this looks crazy. This looks so different. This is the first time I'm seeing this. This looks so different. But we'll get to this in a minute. Right here on this side of the creek, we do have a couple trees that have been cut down. What happened was, while our loggers were here, they noticed something right here. We had one of our pine trees get struck by lightning, and the pine tree died. And what happened was there was some bugs or beetles or something that got in that dead tree, and they multiplied plenty. And what happened was they started jumping from the dead tree to the neighboring trees around it, and they were killing the trees around the one that was struck by lightning. And if you don't control them, I don't know what the bugs are called. I don't really know exactly what kind of bug it is, but we know that they exist. We know they're around. And if you don't control them, they can spread and wipe out your whole pine plantation right here. So as you can see, that these pine trees are planted in rows. This is a good pine plantation right here. We got some really nice trees right here that'll be cut in a few years. So we don't want to wipe out our crop right here. So what the loggers did was they came and they cut down and fell the trees that were close to the one that got struck by lightning, and just kind of laid them down in the area right there, so the bugs couldn't spread to any further trees and do any more damage. So that's what happened right here. And they actually opened up a nice little area right here that we can probably extend this field out right here, have this field be a established field already, and then maybe even do something in this area as well. And then this is the 80 acres that have been cut. Oh my goodness. This looks so different. So different. They obviously did leave a few trees standing. You could see some of these are oak trees. Some of these are probably sweet gums as well. Maybe a couple small pine trees I see scattered about. That's a stand over there. I don't know if y'all could see that, how far away that is, but you see that big tree just to the side of the big tree, right where my finger is, huh? Yeah, you could probably see that, huh? It's a shooting house. That's one of the fields that we have on the property we planted. You can probably even see the field a bit right there. We call that stand the half and half. It's in the middle of the 80 acres. And on top of that ridge over there, we have a field we call the tripod. I can't wait to go check that out. But man, this is crazy, huh?
The half and half could be huge.
This is the potential we now have here to create more fields, bigger fields, more food plot area. Man, I'm so excited. I'm so stoked. The loggers did a pretty good job, actually. There's a bunch of like little piles that they made clumped up that we can burn and get rid of. This is kind of a larger pile. They had a deck right here and they had the other deck right there where there's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of firewood we can come grab, huh? Because they're out of here. They took all their equipment out. Everything is gone out of this place. So let's go ride further in the property and see what else we can find. So this is our old trail that we used to use to get to the rest of the property, and it's seen way better days. It's pretty sloppy and muddy, but from what I was told, the loggers made a brand new trail around this way that goes up the hill. Let's go use the new trail. Okay, so this is the cool new trail that we just came up right here, and if you can see these trees that are still standing, this is the property line. So the property line runs north and south. This way's north, and it goes all the way back that way. Right here is the start of Turkey Ridge. This ridge that we just came up on, and we started on the top right here, this is the start and the beginning of Turkey Ridge. It goes up to that top of that hill over there, you see, and it goes on the other side of that hill, it goes down a little bit and then curves back to the left this way for at least a mile or so. I would say that this ridge top follows the contour of the land. So this is what our property is named after. This is what our camp is named after. So this is really cool. This is the first time that we really get to see Turkey Ridge in its entirety, pretty much. There is a section of our neighbor's property that the Turkey Ridge does go onto of our neighbor's property, but for the most part, this is it. So I'm on the top of the ridge right here, and way down at the bottom is where we started, where that creek runs. I don't know if you can kind of see. Let me see if I could look on the camera and point at the same time. It looks like it's about, okay, that tree is there. Right about there, where my finger is, right there, is where the main road comes out and we cross that creek. So this is the view that we see. That big tree that you see is where that shooting house is. You maybe can barely see it right about there. Just barely you can see the shooting house. This is a big, I don't know what, change in elevation of 80 feet maybe from where we're at to the bottom down there, maybe 100. So this is looking, this is crazy. This is a great hilltop right here, and all of this will be planted back with pine plantation for the most part. We will come in a couple areas where we see flat area where we can maybe potentially have a field location and put a field in, but for the most part, all of this will be replanted and a new forest will grow here. Hey guys, I'm back riding around the property a little bit more, and we are on the back side of the 80 acres right here. I'm standing on top of Turkey Ridge. The highest point of Turkey Ridge is this little hill right here that you see, and it comes down and it curves around and it keeps going off of our property to the neighbor's property. The trees that you see right here, this is a neighboring property right here, but it slopes down plenty on both sides right here. And just look at this view. I mean, you could see so far. I don't know how good this comes up on camera, but I guarantee you that far tree line has got to be, what, 10 miles?
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, that we just don't normally see this ever. I mean, this is gorgeously beautiful. I'm standing on top of a stump at, well, not quite the highest point. I could probably go up on top of that hill and see a little bit better, but this is just awesome, fantastic. They might have had a logging deck way over here. I don't know if they had one way this far, but they did have one about halfway through the 80 acres. They did come through and bunch up and pile up a couple piles all scattered throughout. But for the most part, from what we can tell, for the property that it was and for the trees that it was, they actually did a pretty good job coming in and cleaning this out. This wasn't planted in rows. This wasn't really maintained. This was quote unquote natural terrain, natural growth. There was all kind of different types of trees and stuff growing through this area. I mean, you could tell just the junk piles of brush and stuff that are remnants of trees that once used to be here. So, I mean, they did a pretty good job. They got a lot of clean area. They cut the stumps pretty close to the ground. There's a lot of work, and I really like this section of property right here. We might be working on this section right here where the buggy is in the future to possibly be making some type of field or something in this area, improving this part of the property, because this, as you can tell, is very hilly. The terrain features are pretty, you know, pretty steep around here, and it's hard to find a good solid flat area to work with. So we got some work ahead of us. Let's go see. Let's go try to get up this hill. Hey guys, we keep going further and further up this hill, and the view is just keeps getting better. Like I said, I really don't know how good this shows up on camera, but man, yeah, look at all like the orange leaves and stuff too that didn't fall yet. This is gorgeous. This is pretty. This is so cool. Look how much you could see of the terrain. I don't know how good it shows up on camera. I know I keep saying that, but man, this is a drop right here. This goes down over 100-foot elevation down to the bottom. You can kind of tell where they left some trees right here. That's where all the water flows in. It's a little bit of a creek when it runs plenty. So actually, I think water kind of comes out the ground in a spot right there, and it's kind of always running. We have a little bit further left to go up the hill. Let's go see what it looks like all the way at the top. And while I'm walking up the hill, guys, we're kind of scouting a little bit to hunt. Obviously, with no trees, you could see a long ways, and the deer are still traveling and moving. So we're scouting for hunting locations as well as we're walking through this. Okay, this is about as high of a point as I think we're gonna get. I think my buddy Nick is on a little bit of a higher point maybe, but the view just don't get much better than this. I mean, it's a full like 360 view all the way around. This is just so cool to us. Really, you can see over there? Let's go see. Let's go get on Nick's stump and see what he could see. Yeah, so actually I think Nick's stump is a little bit better than the one I was on. I was on that one over there. You can see the tree line of the 80 acres right here, and if you spin all the way around down the hill, you can kind of almost see the tree line of the 80 acres down that way. You can see different terrain features. You can see the, you know, bare dirt right about there where like the hill comes up again. You can see right about there too where the hill comes up again before it gets to the tree line that runs north-south. I mean, I can't stress it enough, guys. I know I keep saying it, but man, this looks so awesome. This is crazy. Look over here too. You can see the draws of like hardwoods mixed in with the pine trees, and the pine trees further are taller, so they're older, and the ones that are a little closer over there are shorter. I mean, this is beautiful. I really hope this shows up good on camera. I hope it does. And then from the top of this hill, you could actually see the road that we came in on way down there too. And then that's like the second elevation. It goes even further down. So That's right over there where that road is where I said that's the start of Turkey Ridge, and it comes around over this little hill and keeps going further that way. Man, this is crazy. This is also the second highest point of elevation on our property. Obviously the highest elevation is where our camp is, but this point right here is the second highest elevation over the whole property. This hill on Turkey Ridge. So cool, so cool. And then think about this too. Look, we can see, let me see, you can see the water tower right there. We're like almost just as high as the water tower. I mean, and you know that they put water towers on like some of the highest elevation land in the area. So, and then if you look really closely too, just over there is a cell tower right around there somewhere. I don't know if you could see that. That's kind of small, but yeah, we're at the same height elevation as the local landmarks, kind of. We definitely are way higher than all of this area. All of it. Like, I could see a water tower over 10 miles that way for sure, if not 15 or more. Hey guys, one more stop here before we head back to the camp. We're standing on top of another hill. We're looking south now instead of north. We were on the north side of this hill checking everything out, and you can see one of our shooting houses and one of our fields right here. We call this spot the tripod, and you can see the roads that they brought all the 18-wheelers and stuff on and they traveled on. And actually, if you look really close, just past, this is another interior road right here where my finger is pointing at, but further past that, about right there ish, somewhere around right there, is another field that we got. And we only have these 2 fields on this whole 80-acre section, so we're really hoping to improve this property to make a couple more fields. We really like the way that the top of this ridge looks, the top of this hill, to put a field, and maybe another one on the back side, and maybe one more all the way at the bottom, because the 80 acres goes really far down. Oh, in fact, actually, I could see the other shooting house right next to that big tree right there. You see right next to that big tree, there's another shooting house right there. Man, I think me and Nick have been up here for 20-30 minutes. We were just blown away by how amazing it looks up here. This is cool. All right guys, so we're just gonna walk back to the bike now. We're gonna wrap this video up. I really don't have that much else to show y'all, but you know, more of what y'all been seeing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We got a lot of work ahead of us. We got a lot of projects on our hands now, so stay tuned for those. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys hunting season is going great, and I'll catch you next time. Later guys.